Our next speaker is Mr. Michael Burian. Mr. Michael has 25 years of experience in IT, 15 years in cloud, 5 years in data and AI, and 2 years in generative AI. Michael is a founder and CEO of NDI and has been generative AI startups founder before. He is a senior managing director in Essential and senior partner in Deloitte. Michael holds a joint master degree in mechanical engineering and business administration from Technical University of Darmstadt, Germany. Please join me in welcoming our speaker, Mr. Michael Burian.
Yes, hello. It's a pleasure to be with you. Can you hear me? And also, can you see me?
Yes, yes.
Yes, we can see here. Did you share your screen?
Yes, I did. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Everything works, yeah? So I can get started.
It's perfect.
Okay, no, great, great. So thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be with you. Yeah, I thank you for introducing me as well. Maybe one or two more words from my end on this. So I actually started my journey in generative AI almost 4.5 years back when Google Lambda was launched and I was in my Accenture responsibility. And since then, I've been completely fascinated by the opportunities that are given to enterprises. And this is when I founded, end of 23, New Digital Intelligence, a company that is solely focusing on developing and operating digital assistance, generative AI solutions for mid-sized organizations of all kinds in 8 countries. And we are approaching the 100-employee line very quickly. And my little contribution to this wonderful conference would be sharing some of the perspectives that I gained in this work with our clients. So yeah, I wanted to talk to you about some early insights that we gained, that I gained in my practical work in transforming businesses with generative AI, the outlook that we see, and the first experiences. So let me just try to move the slides here. 1 second. So first of all, as a starting point, generative AI, what is that and where is it performing and what is ahead of us? So I think it's important to note that generative AI provides a fundamental new capability. So we have been on the AI journey for the last 10, 15 years. AI was very niche. It required a lot of training and it could only solve very, very specific use cases. And generative AI completely changes that. It is a versatile tool that allows to, that understands text, that understands pictures, that understands contents of all kinds, can communicate with users in natural language, in multiple languages. That's also a key topic that is very important for many organizations, that you have multi-language contents now automatically, and it can create new contents. It may be text, audio, image, and it can answer questions, and it can write code, right? So the performance that we reached with this technology is astonishing. I think we had a major milestones just a few weeks back when GPT 4.5 is the first machine, the first IT system that passes the so-called Turing test. So being that when you talk to ChatGPT 4.5 and you talk to a number of humans in parallel and you're not exposed to who is who, you will not identify the human from GPT 4.5. The new reasoning models, OpenAI o1, o3, have an IQ and the standard IQ tests of 133, so they are pretty intelligent. And also now we see first agent frameworks able to really perform multi-step tasks. We have Anthropic computer use will lead the development there with OpenAI, Operator, Manus AI, the Google projects. And rather than just giving simple answers to a simple question, these tools are now performing multi-step tasks. You may have used OpenAI a deep research, which is a deep research assistant that performs a multi-step analysis and gathers information across various sources and compiles them. What is the outlook? The outlook is the continuation of exponential growth in capability. We are on an exponential growth path for sure, and the development seems to be accelerating and further accelerating. So we see a standard like MCP that are greatly improving connectivity of LLMs with application and data, which is critical. I'm coming to that in a minute. We see massive increases in context window lengths with 2 million of tokens in Google that will improve, again, the data connectivity and the connection to company or enterprise data greatly. And also the capability roadmap is significant. We see Microsoft with their own large language model May. GPT-5 is this month still announced to launch. Gemini Ultra, Anthropic 3.8, 3.9, and they will provide a further significant advancements in reasoning, in memory, and in autonomy of task fulfillment. And of course, we don't know how the future looks like and what will come when, but most of the deep industry experts, they predict artificial general intelligence, AGI, to be available in the next 3 to 5 years, which is basically around the corner. And this prediction has been greatly accelerating. So I think 10 years back, we had this still 30 to 50 year projection, and now we're saying it's 3 to 5 years. Again, these predictions are, of course, predictions, but the pace at which these predictions have been actually shorter and accelerated is significant. So we are in the most fundamental transformation of our society by technology, for sure. And very concretely, if we look at the next 2 to 3 years, what we believe will happen in enterprises and in organizations is that starting on today's baseline, which is still very relatively tiny. So while between 60 and 90% of organizations are piloting and using generative AI digital assistants in some way or form, the total, let's say, headcount equivalent of digital assistants, so the penetration of AI employees in organizations is very low still. It's a single-digit percentage maximum. So yeah, we are at the very beginning, but we believe that in the next 2 to 3 years, 60 to 90% of current capacity of human work in white-collar positions will be subject to transformation with and augmentation with AI employees. And what impact will that have? So we believe it will massively change the way of working and accelerate our productivity. So we believe we will see a world where companies and organizations will greatly increase their revenue, their global reach, their customer intimacy. They will basically reinvest all this saved time and this capacity of saved time into value generation and into acceleration of growth and acceleration of output and revenue to their clients. It will also impact the way we work as humans. So by removing repetitive tasks and by providing the ability to more oversee rather than execute, we will provide more fulfilling roles and profiles. My daughter is studying law, and we were discussing this. We often discuss this topic, and I said, today a lawyer may solve 3 cases in parallel and write all the documents for those cases and charge €200 for 1 hour. When you will be in the job market in 2 to 3 years, you will have 400 cases that you will be running in parallel, your AI assistants will write the texts, and you will charge 10,000 euro for 1 hour. And you will oversee what your 400 AI agents are doing. And you will give the strategy what those 400 AI agents will be doing. And that will be much more fulfilling and much more, fulfilling in your job, because you give the direction, you see how your strategy impacts what those 400 AI lawyers will do. And last but not least, of course, cost shifts will massively occur by redeploying these saved hours that are repetitive and reinvesting them into the more conceptual work. So where are we with the use cases today? As I said, we are at the beginning, but we see already a huge traction. So today, the use cases, the AI employee use cases, this single-digit percentage of real capacity created in corporates is focused around a few areas. So it's code generation. You have all heard of that. It is support tasks in customer care, in sales, in pre-sales. It is enterprise search and retrieval, generation of contents out of enterprise contents, data extraction and transformation, analytics, meeting summarization, of course, which is also a very important, let's say, basic step for further automation. If you have the meeting notes and the meeting summarization that you can then intake, is also use cases that we are building as NDI. You can intake to then further process those inputs. Then copywriting, image generation, coaching, and we see a huge growth in learning and coaching because, of course, generative AI employees are interactive. They can train, they can answer questions, they can do quiz. And then this is an area that is most probably the strongest growth, workflow and web automation, which is agentic, where it is performing multi-step activities like research, like providing bookings, realizing orders, and these kind of things. What are the capabilities that we see are required to now in 25 very concretely set up an AI employee and implement an AI employee in the current organization and process and data? So the LLMs, they have the brain to provide maybe above 90% of the white collar activities in corporates. If it's just about the sheer understanding and the processing of information, where they are, where the gaps are, and why we are still only at a single-digit percentage of capacity provided in organizations, are those most probably those four. So we need to connect the LLM to the data in the organization. So the LLMs only know the internet-based data, the public available data. They do not know your product data. They don't know your pricing. They don't know your specific processes in the organization or the proprietary information in the organization. And to make the LLM use case work, you need to connect the LLM to the data. You need to connect the LLM to the application. If you want to build an agent that provides executive recruiting over LinkedIn, you need to connect to the LinkedIn messaging module. You need to have the LLM being able to trigger a message in LinkedIn or to receive a message in LinkedIn or in your email inbox. And that is unfortunately not trivial, because although we are living in a world of APIs, many applications are still not fully integratable, and the devil is very much in the detail. So that's the second main pillar. And then LLMs still are not perfect. They require human supervision, also for legal and other, and quality assurance and safety and security measures. We cannot leave an LLM doing an autonomous job. So we need the supervision of the LLM, the human. When do I hand over and where do I hand over to the human? What are the handover points? This needs to be carefully configured and developed. And last but not least, An LLM at the starting point will not perform greatly, but only with the continuous feedback and the continuous training. So to have a well-performing agent in your organization, you need to implement a process whereby the LLM gets the feedback and learns from that feedback. This is an example of an agentic AI platform that fulfills all these functions and is a platform on which an AI can be based. This is our strategic partner, EMA, a Silicon Valley-based startup that just recently got a major funding round last year and is strongly growing in client base. And it provides all these components. So it is able to connect to applications. It is able to connect to data. It is providing the platform for human-in-the-loop configuration, and it is providing the platform for feedback and oversight in terms of training. In order to get starting with an AI employee, based on ready-to-use templates and standard AI employees that EMA, that NDI provide, typically a pilot, which is a productive use AI employee, can be set up in 4 weeks, and then there's a 2 weeks of training and validation period where the organization is reviewing and then confirming the readiness for productive use, after which the hypercare phase then starts. And such a solution will grow, as I said earlier. So basically, based on the initial setup, the AI employee will provide contents, which we call drafts, and those will be always reviewed by the human employee, and refinements will be provided as feedback. And then we, our clients as an organization, analyze where there is gaps in the performance. So an answer or an output is not yet ideal compared to the human answer that would have been given. And then there are improvements designed that can span all parts of the solution. It could be that the data has not been correctly retrieved. It could be that the data is not available. It could be that the application connectivity is not performing as expected in other areas. So it's really a cycle of continuous improvement that such a solution, such an AI employee is undergoing. And from our initial experience in the market, to be successful today in 25, implementing an AI employee is dependent on basically 4 critical success factors that we identify. The first one is, and it's not surprising, most probably it has been a pattern in the industry for a while, is to reuse ready-to-use AI employees that have been successfully deployed in other organizations. So we have seen over the last 1 or 2 years a lot of experimental approaches in specific also large organizations. Many AI projects or Gen AI projects, many pilots actually even also failed for various reasons. And to reuse an AI employee that has proven its capability in another organization is for us a key critical success factors. By the way, also the business model of New Digital Intelligence, we are seeing us not as a custom development company, but as a company that brings an existing a proven solution to our clients. Data privacy, legal, regulatory can be obstacles if they are discussed and potentially are slowing down programs. So to clarify those upfront and take a very firm and clear position is critical to those programs, because otherwise typically the programs stall and stuck. To get accept the support of the employees, and without the support of the organization and the employees, an AI employee can never grow and never receive the data and the feedback. So it is critical that employees are really seeing an AI employee as their friend, as their support, as the opportunity to 10x their own productivity, to 10x their own impact. And therefore, it's critical that the AI employee in the program is positioned as something that will grow the capability rather than cut the cost. For example, one of my best clients, it's an international, it's a German-based merchandising company that has now introduced the AI digital employee to grow into 25 more countries with the same or slightly increased headcount only. So the AI employee, their digital assistant, is a growth vehicle for international expansion rather than something that will remove even a single workplace. And then the last critical success factors, and this is often discussed, very controversial, is we recommend organizations to not start with a large scale foundational transformation in terms of data cleanup or data strategy or process or application transformation. We firmly believe, and we have the evidence that putting an AI employee into production can be done in the current state, because an AI employee is at the end nothing else than a human employee. It uses the same data, it uses the same applications, it uses the same processes, it uses the same data. So we don't need to start a transformation of the foundations to start entering a journey of implementing AI employees. Of course, any transformation in the IT environments of an organization may provide value, but it is independent from the journey of AI transformation that we're seeing here. So therefore, don't wait. Don't put too many boundaries on your AI employee program. Start small. Use what has been successfully deployed in other organizations, and start the scaling. Yeah, that's basically our learnings and what I had for you. So I'm happy to take also some questions or engage into a discussion if that's of value.
Thank you for most interesting lecture, Michael. And did you see the acceptance of the other employees of an AI employee?
Sorry, can you repeat your question?
Did you see a lack of acceptance of an AI employee by the other employees? I don't think they realize that is a real employee.
Yeah, no,
Like,
and this is the reason why I put these critical success factors on the slide. We have indeed seen programs in mid-sized organizations where the employees, this example is, for example, an engineering company where the AI employee was meant to provide answers to client inquiries on the product and on the maintenance and on shipment and other, let's say, pre-sales contents. And those pre-sales engineers in these companies, these were engineers. They were really afraid that with the introduction of the AI employee, they basically would lose their jobs, right? So only once we worked with the management to clarify this in all detail and position this as a program to increase the response, reduce the response times and increase the content quality, and use again the tool to enter additional markets, and so that the employees would be safe and they wouldn't be subject to cost cutting, only then the support of the engineering team of the employees to train and to provide the data for the employee was given. So yes, we believe it's a risk factor, and it happens sometimes. Also, workers' council and others are very careful to not support a program that is potentially just a cost-cutting program. And the moment you position it as a growth program, which, by the way, we believe is much more value for the enterprise, then we get the support.
Thank you so much. And now we will present any other questions. No, thank you, Michael.